but I thought that it was time to officially start this vlog. Words? The one thing that I will say is the kids focus a lot. Ow. Oh, hello. She's going through this kind of like coming of age growth in her life. Cool. Hello everybody, my name is Kelsey and we're about to get very, very nerdy with Believathon week 3 or 6, counting. So it's Monday night, the 16th, I want to say, and I've been home from work for about an hour, but I thought it was about time I actually started this vlog. Week 3 of Believathon, I can't believe we're already over halfway done. I'm not stressed, not even a little bit, but I've been fiddling really today because I got a couple Christmas presents in the mail and they were too big to hide in my normal hiding spot, so I just decided to go ahead and wrap them. So that's why this is a little late. But I'm here to start the vlog officially, tell you guys what I'm currently reading. I am currently reading my physical read, which is The House with Chicken Legs by Sophie Anderson. This is for the prompt of The Flash of Lightning, which is to read a book incorporating folk tales. This is all about Baba Yaga. I haven't touched it since I ended the vlog last, so no updates there. But I'm like basically halfway through this book. But yeah, that's where I'm at with there. 0 updates on that. But I have actually been listening to The School for Good and Evil, One True King, which is the finale in book 6 of The School for Good and Evil. Sorry, I was looking at this picture down there and I'm trying to figure out who these people are, because that's not how I envisioned that human. Anyway, so I am just over halfway. I am just wrapping up chapter 18, I think. Yes, so I'm here. I listened to quite a bit of it today. This is very good. I think, and I'm only halfway through, I think 4 and 5 are better in my opinion, but I still like this one a lot. But we're only halfway through, and there have been some revelations about the villain in this book, and over 4 and 5, there's a different villain in 4 and 5 than have been in the first 3 books. And so you're kind of learning the backstory, and things have been tossed out the window. So I don't know where this could lead, but I need to know what's going on with the villain. I need to know the villain's story, because he claims to be one thing and no one actually knows if he is X or Y. He's there. But I've been loving this one so far, and honestly, I was listening to this while I was wrapping presents, and I was just sitting here reading and listening instead of starting this vlog because I got so enthralled. So I am going to continue with this, but I am over halfway done with this book, which is great because I was starting to feel a slump going on, and it's still kind of there, but we're going through. We're using audiobooks to get out of that. I might put this on pause and try to pick up my graphic novel just to get some more things read, see what happens with that. But anyway, so those are the 2 books that I am currently reading. That's really the only updates I have for you today. Nothing crazy's going on, but I'll update you when I have more things to say. Yay. Hello. I have all of the updates for you. So it is Wednesday. I just got home from work, and I'm waiting on Chris because he was off doing things. He was recording things for, basically our church is doing a virtual choir for Christmas Eve, and so he was recording things for that. You didn't need to know any of that. I have so many book updates for you. Since I have talked to you last, I have finished 3 books. All yesterday. So, the first thing I finished was One True King by Soma Tainani, The Six in the School for Good and Evil. This was for the prompt of Fingerprints, which is to read a book written by an author from a different culture than yours. This ended up getting 4.5 stars from me. It was very, very good, but I still think I enjoyed 4 and 5 better than this one. But after reading this and finishing the series, I have a lot of emotions. This was great because it finished up a lot of the questions that we'd been building up over the last 2 books about our villain. This solidified the fact that I do enjoy the second half of the series, 4, 5, and 6, better than the first half. I think I just like the villain more, and I think I like the whole trying to discover the villain identity more than the first 3 books, but obviously you need the first 3 books to get to 4, 5, and 6. So, it was still very good. I loved it. It wrapped up so incredibly quickly, though. It felt like it reached the end, and then it just ended. And I was like, wait a second, because he's done that before with books. So, I just thought that was him doing, like, I don't know, leaving cliffhangers, because, like, in the last chapter, he would wrap up the book and then drop a bomb and then end the book, and you're like, I'm sorry, what? But with this one, you couldn't just drop a bomb and end the book because this was the end. So it felt very abrupt, I guess is what I'm trying to say, and it fit with his style, but I don't think it worked as well with this one because it's the last in a series, and I feel like you need to have a little bit of a wrap up. But this ended the way I wanted it to. This was a perfect ending. It was perfect. I liked it a lot. We got all of the answers we needed, which was great. So yes, 4.5 stars. I am a huge fan of this. Very glad that I read this one. A perfect ending, really. And then I started and finished Sheets by Brenna Thumler. This is the graphic novel that I have in for, it's the one about ghosts. The Spilled Ink, which is to read a book that features ghosts. This got 5 stars from me. It's so incredibly cute. I absolutely adored this book. It was so cute. It definitely tackles some things because our main character has lost her mother. I think it's been a year since when she loses her mom to when this graphic novel starts. But there's definitely talk of loss of a parent. There's a little bit of, so I would say like that's a trigger warning if you lost a parent, grief, a little bit for bullying, I think. But it was so cute, and I really loved the imagination behind the ghost aspects, because basically our main girl is working the laundromat that her family owns, and she really doesn't like it, but she does it because her dad has kind of like gone down this spiral since their mom died, and doesn't leave his room ever. And so it's her and her brother, and she's kind of the one that's holding the family together, and so she's the one who's basically doing all the work for this laundromat. And then all of a sudden a ghost shows up. This book kind of goes back and forth between real world and like ghost world, and there's a very clear difference in the art style and the colors that she uses, so I thought that was really well done. But there's a whole thing about ghosts and why they wear sheets that I thought was fascinating and so creative for her to have, like, not just made up some stupid excuse for like why all these ghosts wear sheets or never address it, but she does, and I love it. It was so creative. So this is very, very cute. It definitely teaches you some things, so like that was good, and I think it's perfect for middle school. I think it actually has kind of like the language of kids who are in middle school, so that's really, really good, and I liked it a lot. So that got 5 stars from me. And then last night I started and finished George by Alex Agino, which was this is for the backpack, which is to read a book by a new to you author, and I have not read anything by Alex Agino before, so this was my first of theirs, and they do have another book called Rick, which follows a different character from this world. And of course I'm going to get my hands on that eventually. But this got 5 stars for me. I adored this book. Y'all, I read it in one night. That's saying something. Why is the bookmark still on there? Awkward. I read this in one night, in one sitting, because it's very easy to get through, because like it's made for younger kids. Our main character, George, is in elementary school. They are in 4th grade. This story basically follows her trying to tell the world that she is a girl, whereas the world sees a boy, and her class just finished reading Charlotte's Web, and so each year classes like kindergarten through 4th grade read the same book, and then each grade does something different, and the 4th grade class puts on a play version of the book that they read. And so George really wants to play Charlotte, but because everyone sees George as a boy, they don't let her. And it's this incredibly beautiful story of a kid who is very aware of who she is, and the world doesn't see it, but is also very scared to tell the world, and so thinks that this is a great way for the world to understand who she is. And it's great. The best friend is amazing. The best friend kind of goes through a learning curve throughout this book, which I appreciated. And my favorite part, I think, about this book is the family dynamic, because there is one specific family member that is more accepting of George once they find out than another one. And it's not the one that you expect to be more accepting. And I loved that. I loved all the twists. I loved all the turns. I loved all the unexpected friends that George finds along the way. And just this beautiful story of something so simple, of putting on a play, and how it can mean so much to one person. And like, I've never tabbed a kid's book before, but like, I tabbed this book because there's so many really fabulous moments within this. The one thing that I will say, which I'm not sure if it's like, I don't know, what am I saying? The one thing I will say is the kids focus a lot about kind of what is between George's legs, for lack of a better word. George herself is also very aware of how her body does not fit her, like, who she is, and they focused on that and like talked about it a little more than I expected them to. And I'm not sure if that is because this is for such younger readers, that should that have been in as much as it was, but also it is for younger readers, but it doesn't ever like explicitly say inappropriate things. It's just mentions that there is something between George's legs that makes her uncomfortable. And I don't know, it was very interesting to see a kid's book talk about a part of the body that you don't usually see kids' books talk about. And I just found it interesting. And this is a very important story, and I think it's beautiful, and I think everyone should read this. Like, I legit think this should be required reading for elementary school. And so I'm really excited to see what Rick is about, because Rick is one of George's... They used to be friends when they were both really young, and then this other kid named Jeff comes to their school, and Rick and Jeff become friends, and they basically turn into the 2 bullies of the school. And Rick doesn't really want to be, and doesn't really instigate anything, so he's just kind of there throughout the book and is annoying, but it's Jeff that's the big problem for George. And so the second book follows Rick as he's discovering feelings and whether or not he is gay or not, basically. And I am very excited because I believe that one is when they go into middle school. So it's been a couple of years between, timeline-wise, between George and Rick. So, this was so good. I want to shout it from the rooftops. I think it's amazing and everyone should read it. So, yes, this was very good. That's really all I have for you guys. I'm still reading House with the Chicken Legs, and I need an audiobook, and I'm not quite sure which one I want to go with yet, so we'll see what happens with that. It's either between Willa of the Wood or the Mistwick School of Music Craft, but also, like, I really want to read the series Unfortunate Events, and the audiobook becomes available on Friday for that, So can I get away with just not really doing anything for a day and then reading that one this weekend? Because I like to physically read it as I listen, because the audiobook is by Tim Curry and he is freaking amazing. So decisions. We'll see. I am at home tomorrow and Friday. Yay. That is really all I have updates for you. I've read, how many books have I read this week so far? 4? 1, 2, 3. No, just 3. But it's only Wednesday, so I count that as a huge win, because this weekend I would love to do a lot of reading, but I also really want to put up Christmas this weekend. Not the tree, just some of the other stuff. And then I also really want to get some more things recorded, because I'm starting my December plans and stuff. You didn't need to know any of that. I apologize. I went on a tangent there. But that's where I am at right now. Those are my updates. That's all. I will talk to you when I have more updates. Also, I have penguins on my pants. I really like penguins. What a way to end a talking clip. I just need you to know that it's so cold today. I have a radiator right next to me because I am freezing and I cannot leave this room. This is my setup today. I have Christmas music and my work and a radiator and a candle and coffee, so it's a good day. hello. It is Saturday. I have no idea what time it is. Afternoon. Oh geez, it's already like 3:15. So, I have updates for you. Since we talked last, I have finished 2 books. I finished one yesterday and I finished one just now. So, let's talk about them. So the one that I finished yesterday, I finally finished The House with the Chicken Legs by Sophie Anderson. I waited about a day to kind of update you on this because I'm not even sure what my thoughts on this book are. But I'm so conflicted about this book because I enjoyed the story, and when I was actually reading it, I was enjoying my time reading it. When I put it down, I had literally no desire to pick it back up, so I kind of had to force myself to pick it back up. And I'm still not sure what happened in this book. Like, I don't even know how to tell you the plot because there's not really one. Like, there is one, but there's not one. So, like, we're following our main character who, honestly, like, I don't even know how old she is, like 11 or 12 or something. But her name is Marinka, and she is going through this change in her life. She's growing throughout this book. So this feels like a coming of age / character study of her, because she's discovering things, and there are some very, very cute moments. Like, the end kind of like hit me on all of the feels, but like I had zero desire to pick it up when I wasn't actually reading it. And when I was reading it, I was getting through it really, really quickly, but I also, like, it was okay, if that makes sense. Like, I don't have any strong feelings about this. So I ran it through Copile, which is the rating system I use, which is basically was created by G from Book Roast, and according to that system, this is getting a 3.5, which I feel like is appropriate. It was good, it was interesting, I liked the creativity of the story, but there wasn't anything amazing about the writing. Like I said, I didn't really have any like strong feelings or pull or intrigue to pick it up when I wasn't reading it, so it took me a very long time to get through. Honestly, it kind of felt like this book was putting me into the beginnings of a slump, which is what I think I was feeling at the beginning of this week, and then I read so much because I like put this on the back burner and focused on other things, and I think that helped a lot. Her other books, this author's other books, do sound interesting. There is an excerpt in the back from The Girl Who Speaks Bear, which is the next book that she, like, this was her first book, and that was the second book that came out. So I'm interested in that one, so I think I might get my hands on that one because I like her storytelling, I like her ideas, but like, I don't know, I'm so conflicted. Like, I still can't get a solid grasp on what I think, but I'm gonna go with 3.5 stars. I'm gonna go with, this was a good book if you are okay with not concrete, here is the plot, because like there's a lot to the plot beyond what it says on the back, and also like the plot changes about 5 times while you're reading it, but it was still very good. Gave it 3.5 stars. Very glad that this book is completed because like I enjoyed it, but I'm glad I can move on to other things. But this one was for the prompt of The Flash of Lightning, which was to read a book incorporating folk tales, and this is all about Baba Yaga. So I finished that one yesterday. Very glad that that has been completed. Whew. And then today you will have seen that I finished the 12th in the series Unfortunate Events, which is the penultimate peril. This one I ended up giving 4 stars to. This was for the prompt of the footprint, or footprints, which is to read a book featuring a prominent villain. I would consider Count Olaf a pretty prominent villain in this series. I ended up giving this one 4 stars, just like basically all of the other ones. This was very good. This is very different from anything else in the series because I want to say the first like 7 books are very cookie cutter, and then from 7 on it does totally different things than what has been happening, but all of those start to feel the same. This didn't feel like anything else in the series, so it was a very different story. I literally can't tell you anything about this, obviously, because it's the second to last book, but the ending did really feel like it was building up and preparing you for what's going to happen in the next book. I didn't hate that, but that's just kind of like the feeling I got with this one. And the other thing that I did enjoy about this is that there's a lot of characters from the series that we've seen through lots of books throughout this series, from beginning books to like middle books to like books from two books ago. There's lots of characters that kind of show up in here very like sporadically. It kind of felt like the author was like, here's a bunch of Easter eggs from the series, and yay. And it's just kind of fun to like have them like layered in and kind of like sprinkled throughout this book. But it was good. I enjoyed it. 4 stars. Can't really tell you anything about it. I found this funnier. Like, there are some moments in here that were just funny. There's a lot more lines throughout this book than some of the past books that I just, like, I would continually, like, walk out and my husband was reading and I was like, hey, stop, I have to read you this line. So, I don't know, it was funnier for me for some reason, and I liked it a lot. So, I'm really excited to get on to the next book, which is the final book, and we'll be reading that one next month. So I'm excited to continue on and finish up the series. It's like a happiness, but also like a melancholy moment, because it's been such like, it's been part of this entire year is we've been reading this book, or this series. So it feels appropriate to wrap up the series in the last month of the year, but it also feels weird to be finishing the series. But I am excited to move on. So that is 2 more books done. And there's still a little over a week left in the month. And I need to finish how many more? 4? I need 4 more books for this readathon. So I think what we're going to do for the rest of today, because it's already basically 4:30 now, are 5... What are numbers? Almost 3:30 now. My husband has pulled up some of the boxes from the basement that are kind of holiday Christmas decorations, so I'm gonna go put some of those up, and then we have another villainous game night tonight because it's one of our friends' birthdays, so we're gonna have a fun villainous game tonight, and that's the plan for the rest of the day. I have no idea what I'm gonna pick up next because I'm literally reading nothing right now. Let's see, what should we do? I think audiobook wise, I'm definitely going to be picking up the Mystic School of Music Craft by Jessica Corey. I kind of started this one a little bit earlier this week, or maybe it was the end of last week, but I read the first half of the first chapter. That's it. But it's got the same feeling as One True King, Soman Chainani's book from School for Good and Evil. So I wanted to put quite a few books between those two because it had such a similar feeling. I didn't want to get them confused. But I think I've read like 3 books since then, so I think we're going to start that one. That's going to be my audiobook because I don't have a physical copy of that one. So we're going to read that one, but I don't know what my physical book is going to be because I need one. Decisions. Okay. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to pick up A Pinch of Magic by Michelle Harrison because this is the last book in my TBR that I'm reading that also correlates with my TBR basket. This one and then Mystic School of Music Craft. Those are the last 2 on my TBR basket. So let's try to read those. I can find the audiobook of this on Scribd, so I think I'm going to... That bookmark just doesn't like me. I do have the audiobook of this on Scribd, so I can read along while listening to the audiobook if I want to, which does help me get through these sometimes. Ooh, in the front cover there's this really cool map. I didn't notice that. But I literally don't know anything about this except for that it involves 3 sisters who are trying to break a curse on their family, and they each get a magical object. That's all I know. But I think I'm going to pick this one up next for my physical book, and that's all I've got for you. I'm going to go put up Christmassy things and listen to Christmas music while I do that, because that feels like the appropriate thing to do, considering I've been listening to Christmas music like all week. I think I started listening to it at the end of last week, so that's where we're gonna go. That's what we're gonna go do. Yay. I've read so much this week. Crazy. That is no longer warm. it is Sunday afternoon. I had to think about that for a second. It's like 3:33, yeah, 3:30ish. But I actually am on here to wrap up this vlog. I haven't really done any reading today. I read a little bit of like my nonfiction book, but that's not for Believathon. And I put up more Christmas decorations, as you saw. There's a couple more things I can do. We have like a small 3-foot tree that's going to go in the guest/second bedroom. So I might finish putting that one up. We'll see. We're not going to put the big tree up until Friday. So you'll get to that next week. A couple of things in here. There's some Christmas lights I want to put up, and there's like this garland thing that's made out of like red beads that look like cranberries that I think I want to put on my bookshelves. Like, I have an idea, so we'll see if that actually works out. But that's really all I've done today. I've read a little bit of the Mistwick School of Music craft. I listened to a chapter last night, but so far so good. I'm really not far enough into it to really have an opinion, but it's giving me the same vibes of like magical school, kind of like in the School for Good and Evil, mixed with the contemporary magic world of Nevermore by Jessica Townsend. So like that's kind of the vibe I'm getting from this book. I'm enjoying it, but again, not far enough into it to really have an opinion. So we'll be reading that next week. Those are really my only updates. Next week's going to be a little weird because I only work 2 days, Monday and Tuesday, because it is Thanksgiving in the US on Thursday. So both Chris and I have most of next week off. And that's going to be awesome, but it also could mean that I don't do any reading, or I do lots of reading. We'll have to see. I think I have, let's see what my notes say. I only have 4 books technically that I need to read next week for the Believathon, which I think I can do. Most of them are going to be audiobooks where once we get the tree up, I can do all the wrapping that I want to do, so that'll be really great. But that's really all I have. Let's see. Let's kind of wrap up this week. If I'm correct, I read 5 things this week. 1, 2, 3. Yeah, I read 5 books this week. So that's exciting. The first one was The School for Good and Evil #6 by Someone Chinati, One True King, which I believe got 4.5 stars. I am correct. And this one was for the prompt of The Fingerprints, and that was to read a book written by an author from a different culture than you. And then after One True King, I read Sheets by Brenna Thumner, which is the middle grade graphic novel. And I ended up giving that one 5 stars. And this one was for the prompt of The Spilled Ink, which was to read a book that features ghosts. It's literally all about ghosts. And then I read George by Alex Gino, which I gave 5 stars and raved about to you guys. And this one I read for The Backpack, which was to read a book by a new to you author. Never read anything by Alex Gino before, but I will be continuing to pick up their books because they are great. I finally finished The House with the Chicken Legs by Sophie Anderson, which I ended up giving 3.5 stars to. And this one was for The Flash of Lightning, which was to read a book incorporating folk tales. And then finally, this week, I finished the week with The Penultimate Peril by Lemony Snicket, which I ended up giving 4 stars to. And this one was for the prompt of The Footprint, which was to read a book featuring a prominent villain. So I call that a very successful week when 2 out of the 5 books were real chunkers. So that's a good week. That's a win for me. But that's it. That is the end of week 3 for Believathon. We have 1 more week left. It'll be a little bit longer than a week by like a day, I think, because the end of the month is on Monday instead of Sunday. So it'll be just the tiniest bit longer next week, but it's the last week. So crunch time is here, but I'm excited about it. I've got some really good reads that I still have for the month. But I hope that you did enjoy this week's vlog. Let me know down below if you are reading for the Believathon, what you've been reading this week, or if you're not, tell me something fun that you're reading this week. I would love to know what's in your current reads. But if you did like this video, don't forget to give it a big thumbs up and subscribe down below if you want to be part of this awesome growing family. I've also got all my social media down there if you want to follow along on any of those. And I will see you guys in my next video. Bye!